Looking for a fast-charging, ultra-responsive stylus for your iPad? Meet the 2X Fast Charge Active Stylus Pen, designed for 2018 to 2025 Apple iPads. Take your creativity and productivity to the next level. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Welcome to Olivo, where we keep you informed about global news and trends. Today, we're looking at a developing story that's got everyone on edge. A warning from NATO that it's ready to shoot down Russian jets if they continue violating airspace. Imagine being in the cockpit of a fighter jet with no clear indication of what's happening next. That's exactly what happened last week when 3 Russian MiG-31s crossed into Estonian airspace for 12 minutes. The European diplomats who met with their Russian counterparts this week made it clear that they won't tolerate these incursions anymore. Olivo has the details on how tensions between NATO and Russia are escalating and what's driving the West to stand up to Moscow. NATO officials have been warning Russia about its airspace violations for weeks now. Over the past month alone, Russian drones have breached Polish, Romanian, and possibly Danish skies, and that's not all. Last week's incident in Estonia was just the latest in a string of provocations. On September 19th, Estonian authorities accused Russia of violating their airspace with 3 fighter jets, which remained in the air for a full 12 minutes. Now, Olivo's got some insight into what happened behind closed doors. According to diplomats familiar with the talks, European ambassadors told their Russian counterparts that these incidents were not just accidents, they were intentional. The warning from NATO is clear. If Russia continues violating airspace, we'll respond in kind. And that response might include shooting down a Russian plane. But Moscow isn't backing down. Last week, Russian ambassador to France Alexei Meshkov claimed any attempt to shoot down a Russian plane in Allied airspace would be war. Meanwhile, Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov is accusing NATO and the EU of waging war on Russia through their support for Ukraine. The US has been vocal about its support for its allies. President Donald Trump said NATO should shoot down Russian aircraft if they violate Allied airspace. But the question remains, will this escalation lead to a wider confrontation with Moscow? At Olivo, we're keeping an eye on this developing story and bringing you updates as more information comes in. As tensions between NATO and Russia continue to rise, it's clear that neither side is willing to back down. The West needs to be prepared for the possibility of things getting out of hand, but it's also essential to understand what's driving these actions. At Olivo, we're dedicated to giving you all the facts, without spin or bias. Stay informed with us and stay ahead of the curve.